Jaya Girivaradari, Jaya Girivaradari, Jaya Yashodanandana, Jaya Brajanaranjana, Jaya Yashodanandana, Jaya Brajanaranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunjarihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunjarihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Krishna Chandra Radha Krishna Chandra Radha, Jaya Jagannatha Jaya Baladeva, Subhakta Devi Jaya Subhastana, Jaya Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Ananta Devi, Lakshmi Narasimha Jaya Ananta, Jaya Gauranita Jaya Gauranita, Gauranita Jaya Gauranita, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Sankirtan ki jai, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki jai. Hare Krishna devotees, I thank all the devotees for joining this Srimad Bhagavatam class. Thank you, Vidramata Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tado Jayam Mudiraye Nasta Prayesu Abhatresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistigi. So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 15th chapter, 39th verse. Krishna Prasada Sumukam Svrahaniya Dama Sneha Valoka Kalaya Hridi Samsprashantam Shame Pratau Rasi Sobitaya Sriya Swas Sudamanim Subhagayantam Ivatma Disniyam. Synonyms: Krishna Prasada, blessing everyone. Sumukham, auspicious face. Sprahaniya, desirable. Dama, shelter. Sneha, affection. Avaloka, looking upon. Kalaya, by expansion. Hridi, within the heart. Samsprashantam, touching. Shame, unto the Lord with blackish color. Pratho, broad, Urasi, chest, Sobhidaya, being decorated, Shriya, goddess of virtue, Swaha, heavenly planets, Sudamani, summit, Subhagayantam, spreading good fortune, Eva, like Atma, the Supreme Personality of God, Disneyam, abode, translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Lord is the reservoir of all pleasure. His auspicious presence is meant for everyone's benediction, and His affectionate smiling and glancing touch the core of the heart. The Lord's beautiful body color is blackish, and His broad chest is the resting place of Goddess of Virtue, who glorifies the entire spiritual world, the summit of all heavenly planets. Thus, it appeared that the Lord was personally spreading the beauty and good fortune of the spiritual world. Purport. When the Lord came, He was pleased with everyone. Therefore, it is stated, Krishna Prasada Sumukha. The Lord knew that even the offensive doormen were His pure devotees, although by chance they committed an offense at the feet of the other devotees. To commit an offense against a devotee is very dangerous in devotional service. Lord Chaitanya therefore said that an offense to a devotee is just like a mad elephant run loose. When a mad elephant enters a garden, it tramples all the plants. Similarly, an offense unto the feet of a pure devotee murders one's position in devotional service. On the part of the Lord, there was no offended mood because He does not accept any offense created by His sincere devotee. But a devotee should be very cautious of committing offenses at the feet of another devotee. The Lord, being equal to all and being especially inclined to His devotees, looked as mercifully at the offenders as at the offended. This attitude of the Lord was due to His unlimited quantity of transcendental qualities. His cheerful attitude towards the devotee was so pleasing and heart-touching that His very smile was attractive for them. That attraction was glorious not only for all higher planets of this material world, but beyond for the spiritual world. Generally, a human being has no idea of what the constitutional position is in the higher material planets, which are far better constituted in regard to all paraphernalia. Yet the Vaikuntha planet is so pleasing and so celestial that it is compared to the middle jewel or locket in the necklace of jewels. In this verse, the word Sprahaniya Dhamma indicates the Lord, that the Lord is the reservoir of all pleasure, because He has all the transcendental qualities. Although only some of these are aspired for by persons who hanker after the pleasure of merging in the impersonal Brahman. There are other aspirants who wants to associate with the Lord personally as His servants. The Lord is so kind that He gives shelter to everyone, both impersonalists and devotees. He gives shelter to the impersonalist in his impersonal Brahman effulgence, whereas He gives shelter to the devotee in his personal abodes known as the Vaikuntha Lokas. He is specially inclined to His devotees. He touches the core of the heart of the devotee simply by smiling and glancing over him. The Lord is always served in the Vaikuntha Loka by many hundreds or thousands of goddess of fortune, as stated by the Brahma Samhita, Lakshmi Sahasra Sata Sampram Sevya Manam. In this material world, one is glorified if he is favored even a pinch by the goddess of fortune. So we can simply imagine how glorified is the kingdom of God in the spiritual world, where many hundreds and thousands of goddess of fortune engage in the direct service of the Lord. Another feature of this verse is that it openly declares where the Vaikuntha Lokas are situated. They are situated as the summit of all heavenly planets, which are above the sun globe, at the upper limit of universe, and are known as Satyaloka or Brahmaloka. The spiritual world is situated beyond the universe. Therefore, it is stated that the spiritual world, Vaikuntha Loka, is the summit of all planetary systems. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Sakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Mano Vistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kathamayam Tadati Sva Padantika Vande Guru Sri Guru Patakam Sri Guru Vaishnavansa Sri Rupam Sakrajadam Sarpana Raghunathan Vidam Tam Saji Sadvaidam Savadudam Parichan Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sarpana Lalita Sri Shapa Vidam He Krishna Karana Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Bhaviga Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Sri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sude Devi Pranamami Hari Vancha Kalpatarupshacha Kripa Sindhu Pevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Budale Srimadi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Dinamini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachachana Desadarani Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Padadara Srivasadi Gauravakta Vrita Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Buddhists, again I welcome all of you for this Thursday morning Bhagavatam class. I'm thankful to Madhava Prabhu for accepting for this class today. So we have been reading about this third canto, how we can remember and glorify the Lord all the time. So this is a challenging task for all of us, isn't it? Though we are all practicing Krishna consciousness for quite some time, still we do as a Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, isn't it? Through our intelligence, we understand that these are all very important for us, and we try to do at fixed time daily, isn't it? But the spontaneous love for Lord, it does not come for us, isn't it? It takes time. So, but when we go on doing this Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, when we go on doing for a long time, then our heart changes. It's here also in the purport, Prabhupada writes that God can touch our heart just by his glance, isn't it? So touching our heart is very important. So when we chant the holy name of the Lord also, repeatedly we are told by Srila Prabhupada that the mantra through our ears, first we have to hear, then the mantra has to touch our heart, isn't it? We are supposed to fill our heart with the holy name of the Lord. See, now our heart is filled with so much of anarthas, isn't it? Not only in this lifetime, in so many other billions and billions of bodies, we have enjoyed so many pleasures and so many thoughts are there, so many anarthas are filled within our heart, isn't it? So because of these bad desires are there, we don't get the taste for chanting the holy name of the Lord. But nevertheless, when we go on repeatedly chanting the holy name of the Lord, this holy name will get filled within our heart. Then we will start doing this bhakti spontaneously. Spontaneously means with interest we will do. See, now we may not have interest, but we understand that it is good for our life. That is why it is in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, if we see, it is written whatever we are trying to practice is called Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yoga means through our buddhi, through our intelligence, we understand that this is important for us, and we do regularly. And when we want to know about Lord, many times people say, I want to see the Lord. See, but what Shastra says is, if you want to see the Lord, you can see Lord through your eyes only, not through your eyes, through our ears. Through our ears only we can see the Lord completely. That means, suppose if Lord is appearing in front of us also, what we can do, just we can see, that's all, isn't it? We cannot do anything much. But if we hear about the Lord, there is no limit. I mean, 2 years we are having, 24/7 we can go on hearing about the glories of the Lord. So there is no limit to Lord's glories. Just by seeing, we will not understand much. But if you hear, there is no limit. We can go on hearing about the glories of the Lord. So that is very important for a devotee. A devotee should not try to see the Lord. He has to see he has to try to see the Lord through hearing Shastra. So that is very important. So that is what daily we are doing, isn't it? Daily we are trying to hear about the Lord's glories. Only that can take us to higher level. Now we are doing in the Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti. From there, we have to go to spontaneous love. Spontaneous love. That is Raganuga Bhakti we have to go. From Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti to Raganuga Bhakti we have to go. Raganuga Bhakti means we do everything out of love. Now we are doing out of duty, isn't it? Daily, whether I like it or not, we do 16 rounds of chanting. Then some of us may hear some lectures. Then some Mangalarti. Like that, then we prepare food items. Then we offer the bhoga to the Lord. Then we honor that, isn't it? So these are all we are doing as a duty. Daily we are doing. Outside food we should not eat. Like that we understand and we do that, isn't it? But once we come to Raganuga Bhakti, as morning, so 4 o'clock or something, immediately we get up and we think the thought will come, I should get ready and I'm going to do Mangalarti for the Lord. Then I'm going to chant the holy name of the Lord. Then I'm going to cook for the Lord. So everything out of love it will come. So that is the next stage. We have to progress from this present level to next, from sadhana bhakti to this spontaneous Raganuga Bhakti, we have to progress. Many times we may wonder why we are not progressing to next level, isn't it? That is a big challenge, question we have, why we are not progressing. Because we don't have the seva mode. So this is very important. We have to develop seva mode. For example, the seva mode means what? Doing the activity, whatever is connected to the Lord. For example, suppose in our temple, Mangalarti is happening. So the main person is the pujari, who is offering all the paraphernalia to the Lord, isn't it? He's the main person. He is offering agarbatti to the Lord, then this deepas, then tirtha, that water, then kerchief, then flowers, then fan, all these things the pujari is offering to the Lord, isn't it? But the wonderful thing in Krishna consciousness, which is given by the Lord, is whoever is there, whoever is attending the function, all will get the spiritual progress. It is not that only the pujari will get a certain amount of progress and others will get less. It's not like that. Whatever the pujari gets, the same amount of spiritual progress, the love for God, all will get. Suppose 100 people are standing, they are attending the Mangalarti and all are absorbed in the process. Whatever offering is being done to the worship is being done to the Lord. If all are absorbingly observing, then all will get the same benefit what the pujari does. This is a wonderful thing what Lord has given, isn't it? But if you see a materialistic thing, suppose a cinema is there, cinema is being played. The cinema, whatever the actor and actress, they get crores and crores of money, isn't it? We don't get anything. In fact, we spend our money, isn't it? We spend our money and foolishly we watch all nonsense. And it pollutes our consciousness, isn't it? We are spending money is one thing and wasting our time is another thing. Finally, it pollutes our consciousness, isn't it? Then a thought will come, we can also dance like that. All nonsense, isn't it? So this is a funny thing in this material world. But what Lord gives, He gives equal opportunity for everyone. So not that only the pujari. Pujari is supposed to be a second initiated person. It's not that only he will get Lord's love. Others, all others, whoever is there, but we have to be absorbing. We have to be absorbed in the process. Absorbed, complete absorption is required. Just not that mechanically we are present. We are present, we think, oh, this is being offered to the Lord. Lord is very happy. This absorption should come. Then we also get the same benefit what the pujari does. Same, for example, now Bhagavatam class, we are discussing about Lord's glories. It's not that only I will get benefit. Whoever is attending, whoever is hearing this, all will get same benefit as what I am getting. What benefit I will get when I glorify the Lord? I am forced to practice, isn't it? When we see what happens, our mind whimsically starts wants to do certain activity, isn't it? But when we hear from Shastra, then that words will force our mind. Oh, this we have heard many times that these activities are bad. Bad. I mean, it's not good for our life. Let me not do like that. It forces our intelligence, forces our mind. Otherwise, our mind will do all whimsically all the things, isn't it? Suppose morning we are sleeping, we want to get up. Then through our intelligence, we can understand, oh, we should get up early and get ready like that. Then immediately our mind will overpower. What is the big deal? You sleep? No, what is there? All people are sleeping. What big thing you are going to do? Getting up early. You sleep like that, our mind will force, isn't it? But if you have done sufficient hearing, then our intelligence, our soul will tell that, no, it's not good. You should get up like that, isn't it? So something has to overpower our mind. So we have heard many times that our mind is like a child, isn't it? Naturally, child wants to do all abominable things, isn't it? All naughty things the child wants to do. But the elderly person, we see that when a child is there, the elderly person always take care of the child, isn't it? Same way, our mind, we should never leave it just like that. Many times in this world, people, they are all driven by the mind. All the activity in this world are driven by the mind. But some time back, people are driven by intelligence. For example, if somebody wants to sell a product, earlier days, people, what they do, they tell what is the greatness of the product. They will tell, compared to other product, this is having that quality, that quality. So through intelligence, they try to convince the buyers. That was the trend earlier days. But now you see, now we are all driven by not intelligence, we are all driven by mind. So the product need not have any quality. It can be a junk thing. Simply they have to advertise that, oh, if you have this product, you will feel very nice. Your mind will be very nice. And you will attract your opposite, so many opposite sex. Man can attract. If you have this product, a man can attract woman. If your woman has this product, the woman can attract man. So like that, they just, they will just, all emotional. Present day society is driven by emotion, not by any intelligence, isn't it? Simply a product which doesn't have any purpose to our life, doesn't have any value, it is being just sold, isn't it? How it is possible? If it is driven by intelligence, you cannot sell any product because all products are useless, isn't it? Whatever product is required, we will buy naturally. For example, daily we eat food. Rice is required. It doesn't need any advertisement. We ourselves know it is required. We will go to a market and buy rice, vegetables, dal, all the things we buy and we use, isn't it? No advertisement is required. So if somebody is advertising, we can understand that it is a useless product. Because if it is useful, we ourselves will realize, no, we also will buy it and use it, isn't it? So many advertisements are there, so many things are happening in this world. Everything is to just to spoil our consciousness, that's all. Otherwise, it's not required. So this is very important. We are the society, present society is just driven by mind. So no, I mean, that's why we avoid Krishna conscious devotees. We avoid all this TV, newspaper, all these things. Everywhere they advertise so many things, and our mind hungers for that, isn't it? Even if through our intelligence we understand also. Sometimes intelligence overpowers. See, we may wonder how our intelligence is supposed to be above our mind, how it overpowers. One example I want to say, suppose somebody has done some mistake, then we get anger, isn't it? All of us get anger. And when anger comes, mind tells, anyhow you are angry, you give full dose, no? Why you are giving little? You give full dose like that. So we will fire full. So when you fire full, what will happen? That's all, that relationship is gone, isn't it? So we, all of us know, to build a relationship, it takes years and years of struggle, isn't it? But within 1 second, we blasted and we ended. That we can never, rectify that firing, isn't it? The mind always does like that. All nonsense it does. Some lusty desire comes, if no, anyhow it is lusty, don't go on doing, no, what is a big deal? Anyhow you are breaking, go on doing, no, like that, isn't it? Same way when we get angry also, mind will tell, no problem, we give full dose. Whatever is there, fully give. That's all gone. That relationship is gone. Then This is over. Then after half an hour or something, then our intelligence comes into action. Intelligence tells how foolishly you have done this. They have done small mistake, say 5% mistake. For that you have gone 100% firing. What nonsense you have done, isn't it? See, if somebody has done some 5% mistake, just for example, I'm telling, small mistake you have done. If we get anger proportional to the mistake, then it's okay to some extent. We can accept it. Actually, we should not get anger, but still we can accept that. But our mind, this is how our mind pollutes. Mind spoils us. It says you give full dose. That's all. Full dose finished. Then that's all. One relationship is finished within a matter of seconds. So like that only. This is only anger. Like that we have lust is there, pride is there, enviousness is there, greed is there. All these things. It everywhere mind will give overdose. And afterwards you will realize people with some intelligence, they can understand. Many times normal people, they are in deep ignorance. Even after doing the activity also, they don't even realize they have done wrong. That is a problem. But when you take up Krishna conscious, Lord promises that I will switch on the Jnana Deepa in your heart, isn't it? If you see the 10.11 verse, that verse is there, Jnana Deepa, he says, I will switch on a light in our heart. See, our heart is filled with so many anarthas and so many desires, isn't it? It's very, very dark. We ourselves don't know what is there inside. But when we practice these Krishna conscious things, Lord mercifully he switches on a light in our heart. So all dark, whatever is there, bad things are there, it will start visible. It will start, we'll come to see all these bad things. Then we can work on these things. All whatever bad things are there, we can start work on that and try to remove these all bad things. Then we'll start progressing in Krishna conscious. See, many times this particular verse also, if we see, it talks about the glories of the Lord, how glories of the Lord, how beautiful the Lord's form is, and how glorious the Lord's activity is, the Lord's paraphernalia, all these things are told. So many times there are two things in the this Krishna conscious thing. One is we learn Lord's greatness. Another one is Lord's sweetness. Two things are there. For the new people, we have to always talk about Lord's greatness. How great Lord's opulences are, how great Lord is, how Lord is connected with us. So many times people think there is no God only, isn't it? We are all there, we are living our life and everything is available for our enjoyment, for our control, like that we think. So when we come to Krishna conscious, we learn all these things, that everything what is available, even our body, mind, everything is given by Lord. Like that we understand, isn't it? Only this philosophy we should give it to new people. Because if you just glorify Lord's appearance, Lord's Leela and other things, then the normal people, what they will think, these people are living in some illusory world, isn't it? Where is Lord? We don't see anybody. These people are just living in an illusory world. They don't believe, they don't have any faith on whatever we tell, isn't it? That is why for new people who are not having faith, we have to tell how great the Lord is. If you see Bhagavad Gita, entire Bhagavad Gita, it tells what is the glories of the Lord. Each and every our action, how it leads to certain reactions, how our life is, making our life, we ourselves make our life so miserable by doing so many sinful activities. All these things are told, isn't it? These are all very connected to us. For example, we are spirit soul. That knowledge itself gives tremendous confidence for us, isn't it? Otherwise, the entire world is running up. The entire world is with so much of fear, isn't it? The greatest fear is the fear of death. When death will come, all of us, you can take any person in this one. Everybody is filled with this fear of death. When death will come, everybody knows that death will come, but they may not tell. But they are filled with fear. This anxiety is there. This fear is there, isn't it? The next greatest fear is the fear of rejection by others, isn't it? By family members or our relatives or friends. If I do this activity, if I talk like this, whether they may reject me. This fear is there. Everybody is having, especially this era, present day population. Everybody. The second biggest fear is this one, it seems. First fear is the fear of death. The second one is fear of rejection by others, isn't it? All of us are trying to see whatever we talk, whatever we do, so that the others will not reject us, isn't it? Or we very consciously try to do. Those people who wants to establish relationship with us. Other people, many people in this world, they are fully in ignorance, so they may not remember. I mean, they may not remember this, and they do some nonsense, and they spoil the relationship, isn't it? So the fear of rejection by others is a very this one. So what we are trying to see is Lord's sweetness. We can understand only if you know the Lord's greatness. So that is very important. So for any new person, we recommend only Bhagavad Gita. Because Bhagavad Gita knowledge, we can understand we are a spirit soul. We can know about our mind. We can know about our five senses, five sense objects. So many things are there, isn't it? Why we suffer. All these things it is taught. So when we know that, then we understand the Sambandha, Avideya, and Prayojana. These three things, isn't it? This is what we learn in Bhagavad Gita. Sambandha, what is the Sambandha between us and the Lord? Otherwise, the material world, they think there is no Sambandha only, isn't it? All are thinking we have just come, we are there in this world, we can do whimsically anything, and everything in this world is available for our enjoyment. Like that, with the people they think and do, isn't it? So we are connecting Lord with them. The Sambandha we are creating. Then Abhideya, what is the process? So this is what you understand. This is God. Then what is Abhideya? Abhideya, what is the biggest Abhideya? Hearing. Daily you hear about him. 10 minutes, 20 minutes you hear about him. You read about him. This is Abhideya. Then chanting the holy name of the Lord. Daily you chant the holy name of. This is Abhideya. Then what is the Prayojana? Prayojana is you get love of Godhead. That is a purpose of our life, isn't it? Our purpose of life is getting Krishna Prem. Say now we are all in the lower stages, isn't it? You all would have heard about the 9 stages of bhakti. The first one is Shraddha, Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha, then Asakti, Ruchi, Bhava, and Prema, isn't it? So now the newcomers, they are in Shraddha level. When they come to Krishna consciousness, the Shraddha, the faith in Lord and his devotees, it is given. The faith is given. Once they have faith, then they do Sadhu Sangha. Sadhu Sangha means hearing from other devotees, reading Sadhu Sangha. Bhajana Kriya. Bhajana Kriya means we are doing the process. Hearing, chanting, all those things we do. Then Anartha Nivritti. Many of us are stuck here. Anartha Nivritti. So many anarthas are there. The anarthas are not accumulated in this particular lifetime. So many millions and millions of lifetime, in millions of different bodies we have accumulated all these anarthas, isn't it? So these all have to be removed. Only when we remove all these anarthas, then we go to the next level. The Nishtha. Nishtha is steady level, 5th level. Steady level means daily we do whatever happens. Once you would have heard this very popular example. Some devotees, when Prabhupada was there, they want to book distribution. So many people those days, see, whatever bhakti we are all doing, it's all very, very less, small, very, very less. When Prabhupada was there, people have dedicated their life and soul they have dedicated to Prabhupada. They do so much of book distribution. Morning they will take prasad, they will go with Mridanga, Karta, so many books. They go on distributing books throughout the day. At night, 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock, they will come. They will sleep better, do Mangalarti and go on like that. Their life was so this one, and they were enjoying it. Because the Prabhupada was such a powerful Acharya. His presence itself made them to do all this bhakti process so meticulously they were doing. So once some devotees, they went to Prabhupada and asked, "Oh, Prabhupada, we are doing so much of devotees. So sometimes we feel very tired. So when we can miss this Mangalarti, daily we are getting at 4 o'clock, getting ready, and we are doing Mangalarti. At what circumstances we can miss this Mangalarti like that?" They asked Prabhupada. Prabhupada told, "Mangalarti you want to miss is the only condition when you can miss the Mangalarti is if you die, then you can miss the Mangalarti," he told them. So the purpose is you can never miss Mangalarti, because Mangalarti is so important for our activity, for us. It will cleanse our consciousness. We are in front of our Acharya, our Guru and Acharya, in front of our Guru Parambara and all the deities. We are glorifying them. Mangalarti, Samsara Dava, that song we sing. And we are so, that is the gratitude for our Acharya and for the Lord. Daily we do, isn't it? So Prabhupada says we can never afford to miss Mangalarti. It's very important. Even if we go on tour also, we may not have deities, but we chant the mantra at least before chanting. We chant that Samsara Dava, that prayers, Narsimharti, Tulasi Arti, then Shikshastakam, then the 10 offenses to the holy name. This is a routine thing in our life. We can't afford to miss. If you miss it, then you are missing main thing in our life. So when we do that, then afterwards we do chanting. So we can't afford to miss this Mangalarti. It's very, very important. Of course, when new people may not have that much faith in the process, but for practicing bhakta, it is very, very important. So because we are not whimsically telling, it is told by our Acharya. Acharya says, whatever happens, sometimes we may say, our close relatives have died, what I can do. Yes, close relatives have died, but still we eat 3 times, isn't it? We eat 3 times, we sleep daily 6 hours. You tell me which day in our life we have slept. Oh, no time was there. I have not slept. I have not eaten 3 times food. Have we missed any time? No, not even one day. Why eating? Eating less when we have eaten. Just analyze and see. Always we have filled our stomach to full, isn't it? Not even 80%, 90%. Full, we take it full, isn't it? We never ever thought that, oh, no time is there, we'll take little food only, isn't it? Always we do this activity daily, isn't it? Same way, this spiritual activity also should form a part of our life. Then we'll come to the Nishta level. Then Ruchi, Asakti, these are all higher levels. Then Prema, this Bhava. Bhava is almost purified stage. Then Prema is we are in Sutta Sattva level. Sutta Sattva level means, say, what is the difference between, we know that 3 modes, isn't it? Ignorance, passion, and goodness, and pure goodness. That is Sutta Sattva. A person in ignorance, he always remember that he is the body. He doesn't even know that he is a spirit soul, isn't it? But the person in Sutta Sattva level, is contrastly, it is exactly opposite. A person in Sutta Sattva level, he always remember that he is a soul, part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. All his activities for Lord. Who was there like that? Our Acharya Srila Prabhupada was there in that mode all the time. 24/7, he was in Sutta Sattva level. He never thought he is the body. He was thinking always that he is a spirit soul, part and parcel of the Lord. All his activities were just to glorify the Lord, to engage all the devotees in Lord's service. With so much enthusiasm, he encouraged all the devotees to engage in Lord's seva, isn't it? That is the person in Sutta Sattva level. So, but if you see normal people, the materialistic people, they're all in mode of ignorance. They always think they are the body. All their activities are for body, and they don't even know that they are spirit soul, and they don't even want to know also, isn't it? But a person in mode of passion, he understands sometimes we are not just his body. Everybody knows the person in mode of passion, isn't it? He wants to, the passion, the main thing, the passion-driven people are, if you talk to them, they will start glorifying. Oh, I am very great. I'm an engineer, doctor. I have so much of wealth. I have achieved so many things. You should come and see my achievements, isn't it? They know that they are not just the body. They want glorification, isn't it? They want others should appreciate. So that is the problem with the materialistic people. If you just connect with them, that's all finished. They will go on glorifying them, their children, their family, all these things. We cannot hear, isn't it? Because this desire for this glorification is filled with all of our heart, isn't it? Every one of us wants that other person should glorify. But the thing is, we want to get glorified. We don't want to hear others' glorification. That is a problem, isn't it? Oh, every one of us wants to be glorified. But none of us wants to hear others' glories. This is the problem. This is a perennial problem for all the jivas in this world. But what is the solution? Our Shastra, our Acharya gives solution for all problems. So what Shastra says, you simply try to glorify Srila Prabhupada, our Acharya, and Lord. Then our heart will get filled. We'll never have any desire for our glorification, isn't it? our glorification, we can compare to this putting a ghee to a fire, isn't it? You add some ghee to the fire, what will happen? The flame intensity will increase. It will never subside, isn't it? We may think that by putting my mind is hankering for my glorification. So let somebody glorify me. Like that, we may think. After hearing that, my heart will be fulfilled. I will be satisfied like that. But there is no end to it, isn't it? It's not materialistic people, even spiritual people. Those we are all practicing devotee. We also may have these things, pride, isn't it? But the pride can be put off only when we glorify our acharyas, our guru, our acharya, and Lord. Lord has so many things to get. Lord is the cause of all causes, isn't it? So many things are there to talk about that. So we may wonder, what is there to glorify about the Lord? Like that. But if you have to hear from our Acharya, Srila Prabhupada's guru, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was there. He was writing so many magazines, so many books he was writing. Once a politician came to him and told, what is it you people are doing, some chanting you are doing, and you are also writing and sending some magazine. What is the use? And what news you have? Like that he asked. What is the big news you have? I say, you want to publish so many things. Whereas we see our newspaper, all over the world, so many matters are happening, and we want to publicize. We have so many matters to publicize. And what do you have to publicize? We are telling you are writing magazine like that. Huh? Then that time, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur told, see, he told this material world, whatever you are seeing here, this is just 1/4 of the entire creation of God. Okay. For Shastra also, we read in Bhagavad Gita also. In purport Prabhupada writes. The 3/4 of God's creation is there in Vaikuntha Loka and Goloka. So the spiritual world forms 3/4 of entire creation. Our material world forms only 1/4 of the total creation. So Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur told that politician, see, you people you are seeing some one village or something, here whatever is happening, you are getting that knowledge and you are publishing as a newspaper. But you see, Lord is the owner of the entire creation, isn't it? Not only this material world, spiritual world, everything is owner. We have so much of information that every second we can publish a magazine. So much of information we have. But presently we don't have the takers, that much takers. There are not many readers. But what he told is, so much of information is there to hear about Lord. Because Lord is a creator. So much of thing is there to talk about him. So we have so much of information to publish also. So that is very important. That's why we don't generally spend time in reading these things, because what you read in this paper, the message is same. Only 3-4 things are there. Somebody is cheated, somebody is killed, somebody is raped. All the same thing. Only the person is different, isn't it? Each day different people are cheated, different people are raped. Different people are this one, isn't it? Activity is same, only person is different. 20 years back, what happened? Same thing happened, isn't it? That's why we don't show much interest. And if you hear all these things, it only pollutes our consciousness, isn't it? Nowadays, if you read newspaper, nonsense. A father is raping, daughter, it's so commonly it's coming. See how nonsense it is. Why it's all happening, we should understand. Because we are watching all this nonsense in Facebook, then internet, TV, media, everywhere, they show all nonsense, isn't it? All illicit things they tell. And when we go on hearing, our mind is hankering for this nonsense, isn't it? Anything nonsense is there, mind wants to do immediately. This is the biggest problem. That's why we don't further pollute our mind. A Krishna conscious devotee doesn't spend time in seeing the advertisements, watching TV, these things, because we have inside us this mind, five senses and this mind. These are nonsense. It always waiting for sense gratification. We cannot control it. So much of nonsense it creates. It gives so much of impulse. Impulse, no. Suppose the air comes slowly, no problem. It doesn't affect. If the air comes at, say, 120 km/h speed, what we can do? Nothing. We'll be blown out, isn't it? Same way, these desires, this lusty desire, this anger also, when it comes, you cannot control, isn't it? So much of the anger, lust, greed, envious, all these things, when the provoking situation comes, It comes like this one, that wind, if it comes at 150, 200 kilometers per hour speed, if it comes, nothing can stand. Big, big buildings will be blown up, isn't it? Same way, these all our mind and senses we are having inside. These are all such powerful demons. They are all inside, and it can just misdirect us. So this is how we can be. Then we have to protect these things. We have to see that the senses doesn't get connected with sense objects. Our mind also doesn't get think about all these sense gratificatory things, isn't it? So we have to somehow we have to avoid giving these feeds. If you give feed, then you will eat, and it will become very strong, isn't it? Suppose we are there, our body is there. If you go on giving food, then we go on eating, and we'll become very stout, isn't it? Same way, our mind and senses also, we have to starve them. We have to starve them from these sense objects. If we feed them, finished, they'll become very strong. We cannot overpower. Our intelligence cannot do anything, isn't it? Though the intelligent job is to discriminate and determine, doing the activity determinedly, isn't it? This is a function of intelligence. Discriminate. Discriminate means to know what is wrong, what is right, isn't it? For example, this four regulative principles breaking. This is a bad thing, isn't it? Any person with common sense can understand, isn't it? This whatever meat eating, illicit relationship, gambling, then intoxication, these are all nonsense. If you do that, first of all, our body gets spoiled. Our consciousness, yes, there is no doubt it gets spoiled. For many times, this argument is there between a vegetarian and non-vegetarian. Should a human should eat meat or not? Isn't it? This debate happens. It is happening for thousands and thousands of years. This can be because in both sides, vegetarian side and non-vegetarian side, both sides, big scholars are there. They know in and out of these things. So they have all points to support their either side. But this problem can be solved only if you know that our consciousness gets spoiled when you eat meat. That is a thing. You can never get connected with the Lord. Yes, of course, we can say that we have canine teeth, so we can eat and it gives pleasure. This is all okay. But nobody can stop the pollution of the consciousness. When you do all this sinful activity, yes, of course, it gives a momentary pleasure, but our consciousness gets polluted and we can never get connected with the Lord. We will not have any taste to hear about the Lord. When we do this break these four regulative principles, our consciousness gets polluted. We don't get much taste for doing this spiritual activity. So this is very important. Whether our body is the Lord is so merciful, especially on human beings. Lord is so much merciful because in this body, human body, we can do all the activities, we can get all the pleasure which is available in all other species of life. For example, if somebody wants to sleep, ideally, human being, ideal person, the ideal devotee is supposed to sleep for 6.5 hours, isn't it? But using this body, a person can sleep for 24 hours also, isn't it? Especially in colleges and all nowadays, this is the biggest competition. Friday evening I'll sleep, Monday morning I'll get up. This is the biggest competition, and they release that. Oh, I slept on Friday evening and Monday morning or Sunday morning, I get up. Like that, they talk and they release these things, isn't it? Then if somebody uses this body like this, then Lord will mercifully give a polar bear's body in the next lifetime. Because this human body is, he can do so many wonders. The greatest gift of this human body is we can get out of this cycle of birth and death, isn't it? We are all caught up in the cycle of birth and death. So many different bodies were there. And finally, we got this greatest gift of human body. This human body, this getting out of this cycle of birth and death is a greatest gift. So if you don't use it for that purpose, if somebody uses only for sleeping like this, long hour sleep, then Lord says, this you want to get pleasure through sleeping, isn't it? For this body is not fit. This human body is not fit. You take a polar bear body. In polar bears, you can sleep for 6 months. No problem, absolutely. You need not get up. Continuously, you can sleep for 6 months. We may think if you don't sleep, if you don't eat, we may die, isn't it? You see Lord's creation, Lord's amazing creation. Polar bear, 6 months, it doesn't eat anything. Simply it sleeps. And afterwards, it's very happy and it's coming out, isn't it? So in the human body, all pleasures are possible, isn't it? Even the man-woman union, that pleasure also is given. But for other animal, they can enjoy many times, many more times. Prabhupada often used to tell, yeah, dove, kabutar, it can enjoy in a day 50 times it seems. Kabutar can do, eagle can do, or a pig can do so many times. If somebody is very much caught up in these things, then Lord says, why you are suffering? I say, in this body, why you are trying to this one? I will give you a pig's body. Simply go on doing. And there is no discrimination also, isn't it? In pig's body, there is no daughter, wife, sister, nothing. Simply male, female means that's all. They can go on enjoying. So Lord gives that if you are so much addicted to that. See, nowadays we read, I see newspaper daily it is there that one father is forcing his daughter to this one. Daily it's coming. It's very funny thing. Earlier it was coming very rare, but now places like Bangalore, people say very advanced city, it is coming. So if such people, what is given, Lord is giving such bodies. Okay, you go to that, you take up that body and you can enjoy like that. So this we should understand. This body is given for higher purpose, and we should use it for that purpose. Then we can get out of all this pollution in this world, our pollution in our consciousness, everything is polluted in this world, isn't it? Even physical pollution also we see so much of this pollution from automobiles, air is polluted, water is polluted, isn't it? See, we went to recently one country, Zimbabwe. There, they just dig up maybe some 10 meter down, they get water. The water is so tasty. This is what Lord's gift. Lord has given wonderful facilities for all of us. But in our country, you don't get, especially in Bangalore, if you dig up in 10 meter, you don't get anything, isn't it? Minimum 1,000 feet you have to go to get some water. You will never get sweet water because all we have misused and wasted, isn't it? For example, if you see Kerala, wherever you go and drill a bore, if you drill this one, very short distance, you will get water, and the water will be sweet because there in Kerala, not much industry is there. They don't allow industry, isn't it? So you'll get sweet water. Now, especially Karnataka, Andhra, Tamil Nadu, they have gone to the highest possible industrialization, isn't it? So all waters are exhausted. So now if you want water, you have to go down deep. And even if you get water also, that is salty water. You cannot drink, isn't it? It's not fit for our human consumption, isn't it? So these all our greediness. So much of what is being wasted, isn't it? Suppose BBMP line, if water is leaking, who cares? Water is leaking for so much of time. 1 day, 2 days also, sometimes it's going out, so much of water. Who cares? We don't have any, this much is being wasted. How we can, that water, if it is arrested in time, it can be used by somebody, isn't it? For example, the earlier days, people, they were all living in the house. They used to, they will have more or less some well, they will lift water from the well and use it physically. So when they physically lift the water, they know how hard to get water. So they will not waste, isn't it? But now everything is automated. So much of water somewhere is coming, we are pumping and everything is available. So our consumption of water is 3-4 times more than what earlier people were doing. Because if you work hard to bring a water to home, earlier they used to go to a well, physically they used to bring. So they will not waste so much of water because so much endeavor is put. But nowadays everything is just to put on some button, some motor is on, so much of water is available. So people don't mind investing. Same way food also. Food also now they waste everywhere in hotels, everywhere. We don't have any consciousness, isn't it? Simply we waste food, water, air, pollute the air. So much of our consciousness is polluted. And nobody thinks it's bad. Even talking, we talk all nonsense. We don't even think whether it will pollute, it will spoil the relationship also. Because most of the time we are in the mode of ignorance. We don't know what is the reaction of what we talk, isn't it? A person in mode of goodness, he knows exactly what is the result of our actions. So that is the difference between a person in a mode of ignorance, mode of passion, and mode of goodness. So being in mode of goodness is very, very important. Prabhupada often used to say, all my disciples, all our devotees, they should try to come to mode of goodness. So what is the advantage of coming to mode of goodness? The person in mode of goodness can know What is the reaction for our each action? We do so many actions, isn't it? Every second we do some action. For every action, what is the reaction? We know. So when we know that this action is going to result in a bad result, then we will not do that, isn't it? Suppose we get anger, we immediately will know, oh, the provoking situation has come. A person in mode of goodness, he will just control it. He will not get anger, because whatever comes to our mind, if you just give it out, that's all finished. Our relationship is lost in a matter of seconds. So like that, any activity, lust to desire, everything, all the bad things, the person in mode of goodness, he knows that this is the provoking situation, let me control. That's all, finished. So that is that way we practice Krishna conscious. In this life also we get the benefit. It's not that once we go back to Lord Supper only, we'll get the greatest pleasure there. Even here also we'll get the pleasure, because this also Lord Supper. This is not created by somebody else, isn't it? This is all here also. If you follow all regulatory principles and live, you can live happily here also. There is no problem, because we don't hunger for some enjoyment, isn't it? So it is possible. So we should, the main thing is we should understand how glorious the Lord is, how glorious our acharyas, because Lord is so pure, Lord is supremely pure, he does so many wonderful activity. And this many times we may not have faith, isn't it? To give that faith, only our acharyas come. All Lord's activity, it is when Lord leaves this world, he gives us in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, Shastra, in terms of Shastra he gives. Even if some of us don't read Shastra also, for that only acharyas take. Lord's pure devotees, they come and they teach us. They tell, they create the interest for us to read Bhagavad Gita and other things, isn't it? Even our acharyas leave, they create some other devotees so that this process is eternally available for all human beings. Lord is so merciful. Always this knowledge is available. People can practice and perfect their life. So our goal of life should be daily hearing about Lord, chanting about Lord, all this we're reading, all these things we should do so that we can live happily here also. And when we leave this body, we'll go back to Lord's abode happily. I think with this, I conclude. If anyone of you want to add some points, or if you want to tell something, please add. Thank you very much, all devotees. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, shall we end?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yes, very nice class. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Art you are speaking. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Rudra Prabhu and all Matajis, Tesaraji Prabhu, Siddhuja Mataji, Pushpalata Mataji, Shanta Govinda Prabhu, Kasheshwari. Thank you very much, all devotees. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.